This is the video for Lesson 1, Chapter 1. Let's go over our vocab terms. A quantity is anything that can be measured or counted. So for example, if I say there are 12 eggs in 1 dozen, I have a quantity of 12 eggs. My next definition is variable. A variable is a symbol that represents a quantity. So for example, in the algebraic expression x plus 2 equals 5, my variable x represents the quantity 3. And an algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that includes one or more variables. X plus 2 equals 5 is an algebraic expression. Comparing that to a numerical expression is a mathematical phrase that includes numbers and operation symbols, but no variables. 3 plus 2 equals 5 is a numerical expression. And I always want you to define your vocab terms and come up with examples prior to watching these videos. Do that part on your own. You can use your book, you can use the internet, but go ahead and before you ever hit play on these videos, print out these notes and come up with definitions and examples for all of the vocab terms. So let's go over example number 1. Writing expressions with addition and subtraction. The first example, 32 more than a number x. So I have x. And now I have 32 more than that. 32 more than a number x. I have x and now I have 32 more than that. Now compare that to this. So this is your answer. But compare that to this. In this second example, I have x more than 32. Please make sure you see the difference between those two. Mathematically, they mean the same thing, but they tell a different story. This first one says 32 more than a number x, but this one says x more than 32. They mathematically mean the same thing, but they tell a different story. So this is wrong. The next example, 58 less a number x. I have 58 less a number x. 58 less a number x. Now compare that to this. This is 58 less than x. This is 58 less a number x, and this one is 58 less than a number x. So this one's wrong. Okay, and this is what we're going to do in these videos. I'm going to show you examples, and then we will have some that you are going to attempt on your own. So what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video, try to do them on your own, and then play the video and compare your answers against mine. And if you get the answer wrong, that's okay. Just pause the video, look at my answer, and make sure you understand what you did wrong, and then do it again. Here are the answers. 18 more than a number x is x plus 18. 6 less a number x is 6 minus x. And 6 less than a number x is x minus 6. Please make sure you understand the difference between these two here. One is 6 less a number x, and the other one is 6 less than x. Okay, let's go to example number 2 now. 8 times a number y is just going to be 8y. Whatever you do, you cannot do this. You cannot use x as a multiplication sign anymore. X represents a variable. So this is wrong. You can't do this. The only time, here's your answer, the only time you can use x to communicate multiplication is in scientific notation. Outside of scientific notation, you cannot use x anymore to represent multiplication. The quotient of a number y and 5, you just write it the way you read it. The and is your division bar. So the quotient of a number y and 5. Your and is your division bar. The quotient of a number y and 5. Compare that to this. This would be the quotient of 5 and a number y. Your and is your division bar, and you write it the way you read it. So this is the quotient of a number y and 5, and this one would be the quotient of 5 and a number y. So this one's wrong. So make sure you understand the difference between those two. Okay, go ahead and hit pause and do the on your owns. And here are the answers. 6 times a number y is 6y, and the quotient of 18 and a number y is 18 divided by y. The quotient of 18 and a number y. And let's go on to example number 3. 3 more than twice a number x. Whenever you're working out whenever you're writing expressions that have more than one operation, it's always easier to put in the multiplication and the division first and then go and put in the subtraction or addition. Let me say that once again. Fill in the multiplication or division first and then go back and fill in the addition or subtraction. That's always easier. So if I say 3 more than twice a number x, I have twice a number x. And now it's telling me I have 3 more than that. 3 more than twice a number x. On this one, 9 less than the quotient of 6 and a number x. Do your division first. I have the division first is going to be I have a quotient of 6 and a number x. Quotient means division, 6 and a number x. The and is my division bar. So this is the quotient of 6 and a number x. Now let's look at the subtraction part. Now I have 9 less than this. And let's read it again, make sure it makes sense. 9 less than the quotient of 6 and a number x. 9 less than this. And finally, the product, which means multiplication, of 4 and the sum of a number x and 7. Okay, I have the product of 4 and the sum of a number x and 7. So that means I'm multiplying 4 by the sum of a number x and 7. The product of this and this. The product of 4 and the sum of a number x and 7. I'm going to be multiplying 4 by x plus 7. Okay, go ahead and hit pause and work out the on your owns. Here are your answers. 8 less than the product of a number x and 4. I have the product of a number x and 4, and now I have 8 less than that. 8 less than this product. Twice the sum of a number x and 8. Well, I have the sum of a number x and 8, and now I have twice that. The quotient of 5 and the sum of 12 and a number x. So quotient means division, and whenever I'm talking about division, this and is going to be my division bar. Whenever I'm talking about quotient, the and is going to be the division bar. So I have the quotient of this and this. I'm dividing these two. the quotient of 5 and the sum of 12 and a number x. It takes practice. If you're getting it wrong, it's okay. It does take practice. Okay, using words for an expression. I gave you a handout which has some mature words or mature wording for how to describe expressions. We don't want to use simplistic terminology like times or multiply. So for example, on 3x, I don't want to say 3 times x or 3 multiplied by x. I want to use more mature wording. And so what I'm going to say in a situation like this is the product of 3 and a number x. I want to use words like product and not times. Same thing with division. I want to use words like quotient, not divided by. I just want to learn to speak math. Now, your answers on some of these may be different than mine, and that doesn't mean you're wrong. And so if you, on these on your owns here, if you actually get a different answer than I do, and you're wondering whether your answer is correct or not, just go ahead and email me and I'll let you know. So go ahead and work out these on your owns. Okay, this is what I put. X plus 8.1, I said 8.1 more than a number x. On the next one, 10x plus 9, I said 9 more than the product of 10 and a number x. Here I said the quotient of a number n and 3. And then on the last one, I said 1 less than the product of 5 and a number x. So if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. And now go ahead and try the practice problems from your book.